Any of you ever been to the Strait of Hormuz? You should check it out. You'd love it. We used to summer there when I was a boy, but this war we are in, for reasons known only to Donald Trump, hinges now on Iran reopening the Strait of Hormuz, which, for the record, was open before he started this. And now either is open or is not open. We don't know. We agreed to a ceasefire if and only if they reopen the Strait. It appeared to be open briefly, but then Iran closed it because Israel kept attacking Lebanon. And now, even though it is allegedly open, there are no ships going through it. Basically, after all this, he got us constipation. And only a handful of ships have been allowed to pass through the Strait. Yesterday, Trump floated the idea of a grand reopening / joint business venture with the people he's bombing, where we would split the fees for the ships that went through. He wanted to partner with Iran, which makes no sense. None of it makes it. But here's what Trump's going to do. No matter if the Strait is open or not, he'll just say it's open. It's open. Same way he did with the riots in L.A. that never happened, or the imaginary water valve he opened to put out the fire.
Well, I wish him luck. He's got a big thing. We'll find out what's going on. They're militarily defeated, and now we're going to open up the Gulf with or without him. But that'll be open, and I think it's going to go pretty quickly. And if it doesn't, we'll be able to finish it off one way or the other. It's going well.
Iranians, that's the good news. The bad news is that we have not reached an agreement. And I think that's bad news for Iran much more than it's bad news for the United States of America. So we go back to the United States having not come to an agreement. We've made very clear what our red lines are, what things we're willing to accommodate them on, and what things we're not willing to accommodate them on. And we've made that as clear as we possibly could. And they have chosen not to accept our terms.
We also saw efforts to play into the president's desperate theatrics, treating this whole thing like it was some sort of a primetime TV reality show. Well, tonight, just an hour and a half before his self-imposed deadline, Trump backed down. In a post on his social media account, Trump said he had agreed to, quote, suspend the bombing and attack of Iran for a period of, you guessed it, 2 weeks. And in case you weren't familiar, 2 weeks has long been the president's absolute favorite timeline for putting off promises that he doesn't want to deliver on.
I can't tell you that, but I'll let you know in about 2 weeks, within 2 weeks. I could answer that question better in 2 weeks. I'll do this at some point over the next 2 weeks. I'll announce it over the next 2 weeks. I'll tell you about that in a month from now or 2 weeks from now. You trust President Putin? You know, in about 2 weeks. You can ask that question in 2 weeks, and we'll see. It'll be out in about less than 2 weeks. We're going to start selling, hopefully, in about 2 weeks.
The 2-week ceasefire that Trump announced tonight was brokered by the Prime Minister of Pakistan, who says it applies to the entire region and is effective immediately. Trump says the deal is contingent on Iran agreeing to the quote. It does not seem that Iran is giving up control of the Strait itself. A strait it did not control before Trump started this war. In fact, Iran's foreign minister made a point of saying that safe passage through the Strait of Hormuz will be possible via coordination with Iran's armed forces, which definitely does not sound like going back to the way things were just over a month ago. The United States committed in principle to, quote, continued Iranian control over the Strait of Hormuz, acceptance of enrichment, lifting of all primary and secondary sanctions, and payment of compensation. It's very hard to believe that the Trump administration would agree to any of that. Last month, Trump gave Iran 48 hours to open the Strait of Hormuz, threatening to obliterate the country's power plants if they didn't comply by March 23rd. But when that day arrived, Trump extended his deadline by 5 days, saying the U.S. would hold off until March 28th. Then he extended that deadline by 10 days, setting it for April 6th at 8 p.m. Eastern. Gas prices are at their highest levels in years, with the national average now sitting at $4.14 a gallon, according to Triple. Late today from President Trump about a 2-week ceasefire. How did you read that, especially given some of what we've heard from the Iranians of what they say has been agreed to?
Well, I mean, we're still in the same spot I think we were in a couple of weeks ago or even weeks before that. We have a president that has no, strategic plan, no goal he was trying to achieve. He's not a serious president. He doesn't think before he speaks. What he said this morning was incredibly disturbing, that he was going to end a civilization that, by the way, has been around for thousands of years. And in doing that, he was basically saying that he was going to commit unlawful acts.
Iran's foreign minister basically said, and I just read this, that safe passage through the Strait of Hormuz will be possible via coordination with Iran's armed forces. That is a massive caveat. How do you hear that? How should people understand that?
Well, on a massive change from what it had been for decades, which, militaries, including ours, and commercial ships had free passage through the Strait. I've gone through there a number of times in 1989 and again in 1991, the second time for the first Gulf War, Desert Storm. But before that, we had issues with the Iranians. But this is an entire change in what was a decades-long status quo. And this could become, for them, one of the most expensive toll booths for the Iranians and lucrative. For them, that's not the way this should end. This president has to get back to where we were before.
Iran has refused to give in to Trump's demands, and yesterday the regime called on all young people, athletes, artists, students, and university students and their professors to form human chains around power plants. Kind of an interesting choice of who they called on there. The statement continued, anyone who might be part of a protest movement, please line up single file in front of the power plant. Dress code is business flammable.
Well, the big story of the day was that Donald Trump fired the top general in the United States Army in the middle of Donald Trump's war in Iran that is going so badly that last night Donald Trump officially announced that he is surrendering control of the Strait of Hormuz to Iran. The one thing we know for sure about Donald Trump's next attorney general is that that attorney general will very likely be asked to commit crimes by and for Donald Trump.
Please subscribe. It really helps our channel. Also, let us know what you like to see in new videos, and we promise to make more contents on that topic. Please subscribe. It really helps our channel. Also, let us know what you like to see in new videos, and we promise to make more contents on that topic.